everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the Sports Mixtape. I'm Brad Voyevich, and I'm joined here by Brent and Jimmy. How was your guys' week?
It's good.
Yeah.
Good.
Going well.
What we're going to do today is go through our NFL playoff recap with the divisional round games from last weekend. Quite a good slate of games that we had there. We're going to cover the College Football National Championship. Another heck of a game. We got some fun games with
Doing okay.
Yeah. I'm happy.
Miami put up a heck of a fight.
Yeah, they did. We're going to do a Mount Rushmore of our top college football quarterbacks ever. That one's going to be fun. I've got a lot of good guys' names on the list there. Then we're going to reel it in and do a top 5 CW/WWF greatest wrestlers from the golden era, the 80s and the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
This is going to bring back a lot of memories for you guys sitting on the couch at home listening to us.
It's the golden era.
I can't wait.
It was the best era.
The golden era.
Yep. And towards the end of the show, we'll have our NFL preview of the conference championship round, some DFS picks for you, and our contest picks.
Yes.
All right.
We all did really well last week. Each of us went 3-1.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Jimmy's
All right.
still out front. We're all over 500 on the year, which is pretty solid when you're picking
Pretty good.
games.
I never actually picked these games for my bets, so
Yeah.
I'm under 500 in my bets.
You're very confident picking on here, but
I
it doesn't
know.
translate.
Yeah, when nothing's on the line.
Yeah.
Well, you only have to go like 1 for 30 when you get the parlay odds that you get.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
only
Yeah,
get to
yeah.
hit about 1 out of every 30 of them.
We're stretching them to like plus 1,200 odds,
Yeah.
But let's get the ball rolling. The first
it.
game we had was Saturday, the Bills at the Broncos.
Great game.
Broncos coming away with the win in overtime, 33-30. Who's got some notes on this game?
I do.
Yeah.
Go for it, Brent.
I think just in general, again, 3 tight games. You had the one blowout in Seattle, but the story of this weekend was turnovers. The teams that turned the ball over just shot themselves in the foot, and there was a stark differential. And this is one of those games. I hate seeing it. Josh Allen has had such a good year. He's really carried that team, but he'd be the first to admit not his best performance in this game. The huge fumble right before half was a huge momentum swing. 2 picks, two fumbles in this game. He had a chance to seal this game at the end of regulation, had Dawson Knox open, missed him on that throw. And I think on the other side of the ball, Bo Nix played the best quarterback out of anybody this weekend.
Yeah, he looked really good.
And unfortunately, he's not going to be playing this Sunday. You hate seeing that. What'd they say, second to last play of the game?
Yeah, that's tough. I think he tried to run it maybe on that play, hurt his ankle, and then the kneel.
He kind of slid into a tackle. It was weird.
And
the
then
way that went down.
And then he did the kneel down, and that's when you could see him wince in pain.
And I tell you, though, Bo Nix played really well. This was the number 1 pass defense in the NFL. He threw 3 touchdown passes, threw for 279 yards.
Yeah.
2 of those touchdowns were absolute dimes. He put the ball on the money. And then at the end of the game, beautiful throws to draw the pass interference. It was almost like he saw the receiver had the D-backs beat, so he put a little more loft and a little more air on those throws so that the receiver had to come back to it, drew the pass interference. And the Bills, they can't get over this hump. This was the year, right?
Yeah,
no Mahomes,
we've
no
been
Lamar.
We've been saying, since the playoffs began, this is the year Josh Allen has to do it. You're right. No Lamar, no Mahomes, no Burrow. You had a clear path, and
We've also been saying, get that man somebody to throw the ball to.
well, the coach got fired, I guess, for saying that they needed some more Pro Bowl talent on that team. Apparently,
Hey,
You need a receiver.
McDermott, there's a nice home for you there in New York. maybe you could team back up with Harbaugh from the Eagles days.
Nah, he's a head coach. He's not becoming a coordinator.
Hey, I'm allowed to have a pipe dream.
He might, maybe for 1 year, but yeah, I mean, that guy, I think, if I was a team that needed a coach right now, I mean, he's the guy I'm going after.
So something that stood out to me that I think, I don't want to give too much away before we get into the preview, but Denver's defense has not been playing as well down the stretch. Now, don't get me wrong, they still get after the quarterback. They led the NFL in sacks this year, but they've given up some points. That Jacksonville game a few weeks ago, their defense is not quite as tight as it was to start the season.
Surtain's a little banged up, too.
Yeah. Yeah, I think when you get toward the end of the year in the playoffs, I mean, this is when
they're all banged up.
It's crunch time. A lot of your guys are beat up, but, you're also playing some of the best offenses that you see all year.
So let's touch on one of the hot topics of this game is that Jaquan McMillan interception.
Yeah.
Again, ripping the ball away from Brandon Cooks. One of the hottest topics out there right now, and it made a difference for another game also. I would have liked to seen this initial play get called right the first time. I think the way that these plays have been called in the past, that's a reception all day.
Yeah.
And you got to set the precedence from the umpire standpoint. And we have the eye in the sky now with people up in New York being able to contact the referees. If they had made this play the right one, then it would have made the play in the Rams-Chicago game not be like a big deal to us because they would have already set the precedence in this game.
I think we could agree. I've heard everyone talk about this. No one knows what a catch is anymore in the NFL. I mean,
yeah, I think back to the Des Bryant.
There's
Tony Romo
nothing clear. Every year something like this comes up, and it's controversial, and it's like, well, what is a catch? Just define a catch. Stop leaving it up to the referees. I mean,
I don't get it. I think the hard thing about this is that the game happens in real speed. And when you slow things down, like you could literally, they were doing this early on with the tush push with the Eagles. When you break things down into that slow of motion,
there's offsides on every play.
Every single play. Someone moves a fraction early. And I think when you're reviewing these plays that happen like this, things are being slowed down so much that I think it's hard to figure out, what does it mean? What do you have to maintain completion through contact with the ground? Like, who the heck even knows what that means? Is that a time? Is it a certain amount of time?
Exactly. That's the point, and I get it. The refs determine that, although Cook's knee hit the ground, when he fell to the ground and rolled over, that ball got jarred loose, and the guy in Denver ended up with it. So I guess that reasoning, I get it, but at the same time, like, I don't know.
I think that Goodell just needs to send them all to summer camp together this year and get them all on the same page. It's one thing. Look, you make one universal call, and it's got to be a standard set. All these refs have to be on the same page of making these calls, and then it's not a controversy anymore.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's jump into that second game then. It's San Francisco at Seattle, and Seattle took care of business in this game. Kicked it off with Rashid Shaheed, that kickoff return for a touch. That guy's got some afterburners.
So I want to ask you guys some things, because that's when the boat race started in this game. I mean, and did you see the kicker tried to slide to take him out?
He tried to kick him.
Listen, I don't know that we've seen a guy since Devin Hester like Shaheed. He could flip a game. That's his third return touchdown on the season. And I was trying to think, in my head, who are, I would argue that Hester is the GOAT, but who are some of the greatest return threats of all time? So what I came up with, you guys remember Desmond Howard played for the Packers? He was a Super Bowl MVP.
Mm-hmm.
How about Rocket Ishmael?
Oh, yeah. He's a superstar at Notre Dame, track star. You remember Josh Cribbs?
Cribbs,
he
was on the Jets.
Yeah.
Legitimate return man, I think, for the Browns for a little while. There were a few different guys. There was another guy on the Chiefs. His name's evading me. His nickname was he was the human joystick.
Dante Hall.
Yes, Dante Hall.
Was Cribbs the quarterback turned wide receiver?
Yes, he was.
Returner?
Yeah. But you get a guy like Shaheed who, we talked about it. What was it in the Falcons game earlier this year? And there was another game that complete momentum changers. When you get a return touchdown like that, and that dude is a burner. Even the few times they got him the ball in space one time in this game, like on a screen or something. Huge chunk play. I would love to see them work him into the vertical passing game a little bit more, because when he was with New Orleans,
he could be like a Tyreek Hill dynamic kind of player.
I don't think he's nearly as good as Tyreek Hill in that sense, but
not as a receiver.
But he's a burner, and to me, in the NFL now, all you have to do is chuck it deep. If you have a guy like that on your team, just lead him down the field.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Typically in incompletion or pass interference will get called.
Yeah, with a guy with that speed. But
look, this was an absolute beatdown, though. I mean, I really thought we were in. These divisional games, these teams know each other so well. When you're looking at teams playing each other the third time in a year, man, just an absolute beatdown. Kenneth Walker went nuts in this game.
Yep.
I know.
3 touchdowns, 116 yards.
We had Charbonnet get injured.
I think that's a key injury going into this next round.
Yeah, because that's their 1-2 punch. Charbonnet is explosive. Look, Kenneth Walker stepped up, but it's always nice to have that other guy back there.
Is Walker going to be able to take the wear and tear of a full game?
I actually think this may work out for Seattle. Charbonnet, Walker's definitely the more explosive back. He's the guy that rips off big gains. Charbonnet scored more of the touchdowns this year. He's kind of like the bruiser between the tackles. Both of them catch passes, but I actually think Kenneth Walker's a more explosive back. I've had both of these guys on fantasy rosters over the years. It's a bit maddening at times, but I actually think this could work out in Seattle's favor. And again, we're talking turnovers. Reverse into the game before, the Bills, 5 turnovers in this game. San Francisco had 3 turnovers. I'm not even sure that would have mattered with how much of a beatdown. But you got to ask the question. So, another managed game by Sam Darnold. And I love seeing him get the win. Jimmy, you told him you wanted to see him step up in the last episode. I think this week, though, the training wheels got to come off. They're going to be playing the Rams. The Rams can put up some points.
Yep.
I think we got to take the training wheels off Sam if we want to win a Super Bowl.
How many weeks in a row am I going to ask him, just show me something?
How are you still his biggest fan?
And this is the thing. I don't even think they want him to pass the ball that much. If they have defense and could run the ball like that, and they could keep the ball out of his hands, I think they would prefer that. But it is crazy to me how good Seattle's defense is that he doesn't have to do much. I mean, I get it. He didn't have to throw the ball this game, so his stat line was not very good. But
Seattle's
he's going to have to throw it. You're right.
Seattle's ability to get pressure without blitzing, their front four, they make life miserable for the quarterback. And when you can do that without having a blitz and you have good D-backs, like that defense is rolling right now.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, a defense and a running back like that or a running game like that, you could win a Super Bowl like that.
Yeah, I still think at some point Sam's going to have to make some plays. And
it's probably still Seattle's, I think, to lose next week.
After that dominant, coming into the playoffs, I didn't think that, but with the way the Rams have been playing, this was dominant. Dominant game against a decent offense. The 49ers, even though they didn't have Kittle, Shanahan, knows how to game plan and knows how to put up points.
It hurt. Excuse me. It hurt too. McCaffrey ended up getting a stinger in the second quarter.
He
missed all the third quarter.
Getting choked up over here.
Yeah.
I mean,
worried about you, Christian.
You can't touch the ball many times a game all season and playoffs and expect not to be injured.
When you practice next to an electrical substation.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
All right, well, let's roll over to the Sunday games. Houston at New England. Another great game.
Turnovers.
Just on the defensive side, I'd say this was another great game. But New England, it was pretty dominant, 28-16. C.J. Stroud, 4 picks. Terrible performance.
What happened to C.J. Stroud? You remember his rookie year? People were talking like this guy was going to be the next.
The man.
I will say I looked into that because I was curious. I was like, what were his season stats? So I looked into it, and on the year in the regular season, he threw 8 interceptions.
This year?
This year,
Yeah.
not bad. In 2 games in the playoffs, he threw 5 interceptions.
And let's not forget the fumbles. He fumbled, 5 or
Yeah.
6 times in that Pittsburgh game?
So-
They only lost 2 of them. But
So to me, the regular season is not the problem. He's playing fine, but wow, you can't come into the
Listen,
playoffs.
I want to
like that.
say he had one play. In the pick 6, he looked like a little kid on the playground getting chased around by like older brothers, and he just threw the ball backwards over his head.
Oh, yeah. That one high one that got.
He was scared. He was running scared.
And
Yeah.
I've heard people say that's part of the problem is when Stroud came into the league, that was the best offensive line he had. And then his second year, that O-line was brutal. I think he might have been at the top of like being sacked in the NFL.
Yeah.
And we saw it with Darnold. You get some of that like gun shyness, or you're constantly
And look,
flinching in the pocket.
his inaccuracies too. And I mean, this isn't for real blame on him, but he got his tight end's knee injured on
Yeah,
the one play because of him having to go backwards.
There's also
an inaccurate short pass.
There's another factor here we have to mention too. I'm pulling for C.J. Stroud. I really like him. I like his personality. I like his leadership. He didn't have Nico Collins out there, and then
Huge.
Schultz, who's his security blanket, had
Yeah.
a couple big catches early in that game. Ends up getting hurt. He hurt his calf. So you take away the guy's top 2 targets, but you know it's bad when at halftime the halftime guys are talking about would they be better off bringing in Davis Mills? Did you hear those guys?
I know. I
debating that?
couldn't believe
oh,
that.
Man, it was like, wow, is that really? what
Mills
they're
had
talking
them
about?
winning. Mills, he played well, but you're right. Like the Texans either have to do one of 2 things. They either have to go all in on an offensive line in the offseason, or they have to figure out if Stroud really is the guy for this team, because they got a great defense, but I think what we're seeing here in the playoffs is now if you have a great defense and like mediocre quarterback play, if your defense doesn't step up in these games, now you have to step up, and he was not able to do that. So like you said in the previous game, Darnold, great defense. If they're not up to par, is he going to be able to step up?
It's a testament to how good Houston's defense is.
Yeah.
That they were still in this game.
Oh yeah.
Houston turned the ball over 5 times, including a pick 6, and they were still in this game for the majority of the game because they were getting after Drake May, making his life miserable. We saw the same thing with May. I'm so impressed with May. You got to remember, this is this guy's second year in the league.
I hate it.
But
I'm very impressed, but I hate it.
You had about an 8-year window in between Patriot
It's
dynasties.
incredible. These freaking Patriots have a horseshoe up there. You know what?
But the last 2 weeks he started off the game like you would expect a second-year player to start out. It's the playoffs. The lights are a little brighter, a little rattled, and then he settles in. And how about that catch by? Is it Booty?
Oh, Booty, yeah.
That might be the catch of the year.
That was
considering the
crazy.
circumstances. What a grab! The snow, the sleet.
I couldn't believe he caught that when he reached one hand out. I for sure thought that was a errant throw. But
Diggs had an incredible that touchdown catch was unreal.
Yep.
Contested by 2 guys.
May thread the needle on that pass.
He
too.
made a couple key passes in that game that were unreal. Right on the money.
Yeah, I mean, look, New England. That was my pick from the AFC to go to the Super Bowl. So
They're on their way.
Jimmy's got both of them.
They might get in there.
I think they have a much easier go at it with the Broncos than that Houston D.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that game will be a battle, but we'll get to that.
Yeah. All right. Next game was the Rams against the Bears.
What a game that was!
And another just
weather,
wintry wonderland
I love
there,
it.
man. That was brutal for them.
Yeah.
And that was one concern for me was how would Matt Stafford's sprained throwing hand hold up in that cold weather, but
and he's old.
They got the job done in overtime.
Yeah, he looked
another miraculous comeback by Caleb Williams. But yeah, what do you got on this game, Jimmy?
Not this time, Caleb. I mean, it is crazy to me.
We've been talking about it. Had to run out.
The
at some point.
comebacks look, he threw that. Let me see. All right,
It's a 14-yard touchdown pass.
He ran backwards 25 yards. I went back and watched the replay. It was a 14-yard touchdown pass.
It's a 42-yard throw.
Yeah, he ran back 25 yards and threw that off his back foot. Now, I don't know what the defender was doing on the Rams. Like, he was completely turned around and, like, running to the front of the end zone.
So we talk about it on the show. You guys obviously remember Tecmo Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
That was a play in Tecmo where you run the quarterback back and dodge and you launch it down the field. And miraculously, somehow this worked. When they scored that touchdown, I was like, is this going to happen again?
Yeah.
I can't wait for the Ben Johnson post-game WWF speech. Like, here it comes. And then, but even prior to that point, I found myself a little bit curious. It's been a great season. Obviously, first-year coach, Caleb turned the corner.
Yeah.
I thought you would see him use his legs a little bit more, especially in that series where they were down by the goal line and didn't score towards the end of regulation. No rollouts, no attempted – like, you've got a guy who's got wheels. Put a little pressure on the defense there is what I would think.
I think Williams has all the qualities to be a great quarterback. It's just putting them all together at the same time for him seems to be the problem right now.
He still turns the ball over a little too much.
He
tries to make the hero play on every.
Makes that miraculous touchdown, and then you go in overtime, and he throws a terrible pass. Terrible pass for that interception.
Yeah, we're going to see if they're, there's always a team in the league that wins a bunch of games like this. They make a bunch of comebacks or they win a bunch of games by 3 points or less. Bears fans, next year it might be a little different. I do like Caleb Williams, but you can't expect to come back into next year and win games like that all year.
No, but then you give Ben Johnson a couple years there and then watch out for the Bears.
I'm impressed. Look, I'm impressed by the Bears. I was surprised by them this year. I didn't think Caleb Williams was going to lead them to the playoffs this early, but
hey, turnovers again in this game. Yep. Rams did not turn the ball over. Bears had 3 turnovers. Rams kind of rode Kieran Williams in this one. It was kind of like an old school, nothing crazy, 21 rushes, 87 yards, 2 TDs. It was like a weather-dependent game. Yep. I think we'll see some more offensive fireworks when they head to Seattle next. Next week.
I think that's why, to me, McVay is just such a good coach. He understood that in that weather, if you run the ball, you keep possession, you don't turn over, and you have Matt Stafford in your back pocket.
Let the young guy make a mistake. I found this pretty interesting, though. Both of the overtime games, the teams that elected to kick off ended up did they win or lose the game? The teams that kicked first ended up losing the game.
Oh, really?
So with these new overtime rules, you would think that's the advantage, right? Because you can see what the other team does first. You know if you need just a field goal, if you need a touchdown and to go for 2. But I've heard other people talk about this, that at the end of a game like that, especially with the weather, with the defense being tired, defense is usually worn out at the end of the game. Yeah. Wouldn't you want to maybe take the kickoff, put the pressure on the opposing team? It's an interesting point, but I did find it interesting. Both teams that elected to kick ended up losing.
I really thought that they were going to go for 2 at the end of the game there with the momentum they had.
I did too.
I thought let's do it. Now's the time.
We were texting about it.
Don't let Stafford get the ball and have another chance.
Look, I also thought that when the Rams, would they go 3 and out in the first possession in overtime, I think.
And the Bears were moving the ball.
Yeah, I thought they were toast. I as soon as they decided to kick the ball, I went, that is a terrible idea to kick the ball away. I was just trying to go over the first, but worked out. I mean, like you said, Caleb Williams drove him down the field. I think they got to the 50-yard line.
Yeah, they were close.
And he tried to fit one in there, and it was just a bad throw.
Yep. Yeah. And then this was the game with the other controversial catch and interception. Was it Devontae Adams?
Yeah,
over the middle.
Devontae.
2 plays that the whole game decides the outcome, but 2 plays that were major factors in both of these games.
They got to figure that out, what a catch is.
So, with that being done, we got some good conference championship games coming up.
Yeah.
So, but let's jump right into Monday. with the national championship game.
What a game, man.
I'm
Great
telling
game.
you.
What a game.
Entertainment value was there.
So much to like from this. I
Yeah.
think we got to take a minute before we start, though. I mean, I've been blowing smoke the last couple of weeks for this guy. What Kurt Signetti did, what he did in 2 years, let's just slow down, all right? I'm going to say it again. The most losing program in NCAA football history when he gets there 2 years ago. Takes him to the playoff the first year. He brings a swag. He brings a brashness. He brings that, like, old school mentality. They win the national title in the second year. So I was thinking, like, this would be like someone going to the Pittsburgh Pirates, and in 2 years they're winning a World Series. Or someone going to the Jets, and in 2 years they're winning a Super Bowl. You don't see that kind of a transformation that quick. I mean, it's really incredible what this guy has done. And what makes it even more impressive is he's not at a big budget school. He's at a basketball school.
No.
The Hoosiers are known for
But
hoops.
they did bring in about 50 guys that they're paying, so
Yeah.
that helps. But you're right. It's nothing short of amazing what he did. And look, Signetti said it after the game. You know, it takes a whole team, coaches, everyone to win, turn a program around. But he said it himself. You need a quarterback to play like Mendoza played all year. I mean,
How about that fourth down? rushing
Yeah.
touchdown?
So up until then, I had Mikhail Kamara had that punt block. I had him as my MVP for the game, and then I saw Mendoza take off on that run like Superman.
yeah, I mean, that was a difference in the game. To me, you know, being a Miami fan, I'm a little biased, but I thought that whole game, they were punishing Mendoza. And I love both teams. It was like a very physical game.
Yeah.
Played hard.
Dude,
They were scrapping in between plays.
Yes.
Fletcher Jr. and Tony tried to keep Miami in
Yeah.
this game.
Yeah.
Those guys both balled out.
Yeah,
Big playmakers.
They both had
Yeah.
big games.
And then down the stretch, Becker for Indiana.
Yep.
Two
That guy.
huge catches.
Back shoulder
Huge
catches, contested. Yeah,
Yeah.
great catches.
I also thought it was so cool. So obviously, this is such a better format for college football than 4 teams. I
Yeah,
mean, we
for
talked
sure.
about it for years before they came up with it. March Madness is incredible. Why not have a bigger, like, 1AA for years had the 16 team tournament. I think it's so good for the sport that a 10 seed made it to the final this year, that Miami got in.
Yeah. And this is the thing, too. Indiana's beaten a who's who.
Of
And I
every
mean,
conference.
not beaten. They've crushed every team that they've played. And it just goes to show a 10 seed steps up. And that was the best matchup all
I know.
year
Imagine-
against Indiana.
Imagine what Notre Dame would have done in that final. It would have been. It would have been.
They would have only
impressive.
lost by 10 to 12 points.
Speaking of Notre Dame, I believe I'm owed a T-shirt.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right. I won the contest.
Yeah,
we
I
did a
forgot.
snake draft several weeks ago of who was going to
We'll
be.
let
in
you
it.
pick out a Notre Dame T-shirt.
Yeah, we'll get a nice little one.
All right.
But this game in general, this was like really good for college football in my opinion.
I agree.
Miami being back, Indiana, Indiana winning, it shows like any school can do the same thing. I mean, you got to get the right coach in there, but
You just need a WWF wrestler coaching.
yeah,
And look, his I think Signetti's like one of his best skills these last 2 years is being able to identify and evaluate talent like Mendoza. This was pretty wild. Mendoza was rejected by Miami. He wanted to try to walk on to Miami, and obviously he's from Miami, and was rejected by them. I think what Signetti's done really well is these guys who are not like top blue chip guys who are going to take the money from like a Georgia and LSU or a Bama. He finds these guys that are good ball players at other schools, and his ability to get them to come in and coach them up was so impressive this year.
Big momentum shift in this game was that punt block. You got to say to Miami, what are you doing, number 87? Indiana is only rushing 3, not even really attempting to rush for the block. And there's 3 Miami blockers right there, and none of them moved to even step into this guy's way.
yeah. I mean
And that shifted the game right there.
Yeah, that punt block, like I said, that was a difference in the game. If they don't block that punt, I think Miami had a great chance to win that game. And they had a chance at the end of the game, just that he had a guy open and just completely underthrew that ball. And to be honest, that might have been all the strength he had in his arm. I don't know if he could have thrown it any further, but
a lot of credit to Miami, because every time it seemed like Indiana was going to sneak away and keep extending the lead, Miami answered on every one of those drives.
That's why it was such an interesting game to me. Like, no one could do anything, and then all of a sudden one team would score, and then the other team would, like, drive the whole field and score. But, you know, that's what you got to do.
Yeah, just at the end there, you know, it was like back and forth. Yeah. It was like two heavyweights just punching,
just giving everything
taking a blow, giving a blow. Yeah, it was really entertaining.
I hope
game.
that we start having more championship games like this. Some battles and different teams every year. I'd love to see different teams in the finals.
Definitely.
If they expand it, you know, you may get a 16 seed.
Keep pushing it
out of these years.
I don't want to get too crazy, but you never know.
JMU and Tulane stole bids from deserving schools.
I think that's the thing. Once you start in college football, once you start getting too far down, there's teams that might have a great record, but they're not competing with the big boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
hats off.
Thank you, college football, for another great season.
Yeah.
Let's move into the Mount Rushmore of college football quarterbacks.
Let's keep it in college football.
So, how do you guys kind of want to do this? Are we just there's 4 heads on Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
So
can I give a few honorable mentions first? This was tough. Do you guys have any honorable mentions?
Do you want to?
Let's wait until after.
Let's do the honorable mentions after.
Yeah.
We'll kind of do it.
But I don't know who you have. You might have guys that we have in honorable.
Yeah. I mean, we can maybe just do it kind of like a snake draft, but no particular order.
Yeah, just give. I guess give your first guy or whoever.
So your top, or do you want to go with your number 4 pick? Let's go 4 picks first.
I don't have them in order. I just have 4 guys.
I'll go who I would say is 4, but I'll do them. They're just all on Mount Rushmore. These are the 4.
All right.
The last one was like the hardest one to pick for me, because I had 3 guys that I just kept like back and forth, and I went with a guy that won the national championship. But I have Vince Young on my Mount Rushmore, University of Texas. He's the first player in college football history with over 3,000 passing and 1,000 rushing yards in a season. And look, this dude etched his place on the Mount with that national championship win over USC. There was one of the most dominant teams in college football history. They were going, I think, for their 3rd national title. They had won 2. Yep. And he beat them in the Rose Bowl in one of the greatest college football games ever played. It was 41-38. In this game, Vince Young threw for 267 yards, ran for 200 yards, and Texas came out. It was a big upset. And because he won the national title, I had to put him on over the 2 honorable mention guys I'll get to after we give our people. But he's on my list.
I actually have Vince Young on there as well.
I'm sure there's going to be some overlap here.
He just missed out on mine, but he was on the on the brink.
And my Mount Rushmore, I will say, I didn't really start watching college football. I didn't really watch it when I was younger, so it's really more new school guys for the most part that I have on here. But Vince Young is one of them. 30-2 starter, like you mentioned that season, that game. Damn you, Reggie Bush, for taking his Heisman and then losing it. But Vince Young should have, although Reggie Bush had an amazing season. But that was the only thing Vince Young didn't have was a Heisman. But other than that, the guy was just a freak show out there.
Yeah. Well, I went with
played for the Eagles for a minute too, Vince Young.
Yeah.
Back on that Dream Team disaster. Remember they dubbed that team the Dream Team, and it was just a hot mess.
I went with someone a little more athletic and dynamic, Doug Flutie. All right. He Boston College.
It's about half Vince Young's size.
Yeah. He went to Boston College 1981 to 84. He won the national championship, or Heisman Trophy winner there. Not the national championship, but same year he became the NCAA's all-time passing leader. This guy was accredited a bunch of different awards throughout his college career.
How tall was he?
5'6", I think. 5'7", maybe.
Which makes all this even more incredible.
Yep.
We need to figure out exactly, because I've read all sorts of reports. He's probably an inch shorter than whatever he's listed at.
least.
Maybe 5'8", 5.
Yeah.
No, I think realistically he's probably like 5'8", 5'9".
Yeah.
But he's, I'm sure you guys remember, he's known best for the pass. It was the Hail Mary in the Orange Bowl against Miami.
It was our
to
trivia
win the
question.
game. Walk-off
Trivia question
win.
last week. If you didn't watch the
Yeah.
trivia, go check out last week's episode. These guys were dueling it out, college football trivia.
Yep. But a big credit to him too was he was a true freshman getting the start and never missed a game in all 4 years, and that's
impressive.
That's true grit right there.
Oh, yeah.
Especially
you
when you're
know
a little, when you're a little
that guy was probably taking some blows
Yeah,
back when you could actually hit the quarterback.
yeah.
All right, Jay, you want to go next?
Yeah, I'll get my second. My second, I have Trevor Lawrence.
Okay.
Trevor Lawrence played at Clemson 2018 to 2020. He was 34-2 as a starter at Clemson. They won the national title. He was a starting quarterback when he was a true freshman, which is pretty incredible to do.
Beat Bama, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he didn't lose his first college game until his sophomore year in the national championship game when they just ran into that LSU Joe Burrow team who was just crazy.
We'll talk about him in a minute.
So you'll hear that shortly. But yeah, Trevor Lawrence, I mean, this is when Clemson was rolling, and now you can't say as much about them, but this guy was fun to watch. And coming out of college, everyone thought he was like the next Peyton Manning. So
Yeah, he was hyped for sure.
Brent?
Well, Jimmy mentioned that LSU team. Joe Burrow gets a spot on Mount Rushmore for me simply because of his 2019 season. These numbers are ridiculous. He threw for 60 passing touchdowns. He threw for over 5,600 yards. He had a passer rating of 202, and his completion percentage on the season, 77.9%. I mean, that's like better than video game numbers.
That's crazy.
Unreal.
And he was throwing to some elite talent down there at LSU. I think he had Jefferson and Chase both on that team.
Yep.
They were loaded.
That team was unstoppable.
Yeah, I mean, Burrow coming over from Ohio State. I think the year before that, I don't think he started a lot of games.
I think he played towards the end of the season some.
Yeah, and he was winning games. Not like he was losing games, but that senior year for him, really, he blossomed out there. And I mean, like you said, the greatest season by a NCAA quarterback ever.
Yeah.
And that's going to be hard to beat. I mean, the numbers are absolutely ridiculous.
When Burrow is on the field, he's had some crazy injury luck in the NFL, but what was it, his second year in the league? He took the Bengals on the doorstep of winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They lost to the Stafford and McVay Rams. When he's healthy, the guy's one of the best in the game.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Number 3 for me, I'm going with Mike Vick. Virginia Tech from 99 to 2000.
He was one of my honorable mentions.
The guy changed the game for quarterbacks. Just running all over the field, could sling the ball. He threw a missile. But he was a redshirt freshman in 99, led the NCAA in passing efficiency, led the Hokies to 11-0 regular season and their first BCS national championship. And they lost to Winky and Peter Warwick at Florida State. That was
they put up a fight in the first half of that game too.
But that Winky and Warwick team was out of control.
Yeah.
But Vic, I don't think he ever won the Heisman. He was a finalist in '99. Lost to Ron Dane. Remember Ron Dane?
Oh, yeah.
He could have. Vic should have won that
Yeah.
Heisman. Vic was so disgusting in college at Virginia
But
Tech.
he did win the SB for College Player of the Year.
He was like, when you hear or talk about like the dual threat, like typically one guy's like way better at one than the other. Like maybe you got a quarterback who can run a little bit or a running quarterback who doesn't throw too well. He had a rocket for an arm, and his speed was other. Go watch Mike Vick YouTube clip highlights from college and when he was with the Falcons.
no,
I mean,
no
his speed
ball
was-
security when he ran the ball either.
His speed was on another level.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
so that's why he was 2-time College Football Hall of Famer,
And listen, Virginia Tech
number 1 draft pick.
Virginia Tech was like known for special teams play, blocking punts, beamer ball, but they were not a national championship contender.
No.
And he put that squad on his back and took them to the national championship.
no one
game.
could catch him.
No, it was unbelievable.
You could not catch that guy in college.
All right, bringing it down to number 2.
I'll go with my number 2 next, Jimmy.
How many did you do? 2 or 3?
I've done 2 so far.
Okay, I go for it.
This one's a throwback. I went with Tommy Frazier from the Nebraska Cornhuskers. He spearheaded that Tom Osborne triple option attack at Nebraska. That was a dynasty. Those Nebraska boys ran the triple option and ran it well.
I got who he played against.
Okay. He won back-to-back championships in 94 and 95, was the best player on that dynasty. They ran that triple option to perfection. You had a big fullback. You could kick it out, with the pitch pass to the halfback. Those Nebraska teams were pretty dominant forces back in the day. They just pounded the offensive line play. Legendary coach Tom Osborne, but I went with Tommy Frazier. He was a Heisman winner, back-to-back national championships. He's on Mount Rushmore.
Those Nebraska teams, they were feared back then. First off, the linemen that they had were humongous. Those corn-fed boys out there in Nebraska,
Those Midwestern boys.
No one could touch their offensive or defensive line. But yeah, he was a great player. I don't even remember him. Did he go to the NFL?
I don't remember.
I don't remember him in the NFL.
You know who else was a Nebraska quarterback who had success? Scott Frost was another one.
He's a coach now.
And I think some of those guys, I could be wrong, maybe went to the NFL and tried to make it as like cornerbacks or wide receivers.
Yeah.
That didn't translate to the NFL because, again, that was more of a rushing. It wasn't a pro-style offense.
Yeah, it's a good pick. My third pick, you already mentioned Joe Burrow at LSU. Once again, I'm not going to go over the numbers again, but he was an absolute freak. Obviously, Heisman Trophy winner, national championship winner, Davey O'Brien Award winner, Maxwell Award winner. The list is, I didn't even write everything down because it was way too many awards that he won his senior year. But
the numbers are crazy.
But yeah, I mean, the guy just, if you watched him that year, it was unbelievable.
You got that iconic picture of him smoking a cigar after the national championship game in the locker room. Yeah.
All right. So this guy beat Tommy Frazier in a national championship. Charlie Ward, Florida State, 89, 93.
I used to love watching
Another
him.
just dynamic.
Love watching him play.
Multifaceted quarterback.
Multi-sport. Guy played in the NBA.
We'll talk about that. Yeah. So he was a 93 Heisman Trophy and Davey O'Brien Maxwell Award winner as well. Beat Tommy Frazier, led Nebraska in the national championship. 2-time All-American.
Great pick.
And not only 2-time All-American in one sport, though, also basketball. He passed up the NFL draft and went and had an 11-year career in the NBA.
Played with Jimmy's boys. He was a Knicks.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
he was a heck of an athlete,
so fun to watch no matter what sport you watch him play.
When you're that good in football in college and then you just go, I'm going to play NBA basketball, you're a freak athlete.
One of my favorite, we all collected cards when we were kids. One of my favorite cards I ever pulled out of a pack, I think it was like a Fleer Ultra or a Fleer. He was still deciding between the NFL and the NBA, and it was a picture of him in college. There's like flames in the background, and he has his Florida State jersey on, and he eventually went on to play in the NBA, so he didn't get drafted, but it was like a top prospects card or something. I remember pulling that one and just being like, because as a kid, I mean, I loved the Seminole chant, like the whole stadium would do the chant, and I remember watching him play as a little kid with Dad.
So before anyone says their final one, should we all take a knee? I got a feeling we all have the same one.
Of course.
A count of 3, just everyone say it. 1, 2, 3.
Tim Tebow. Yeah. Probably the greatest college football player ever.
Yeah, that guy was an animal. I loved Tebow in college. I know he caught a lot of flack But look, the guy who's 48-7 as a starter and won 2 national titles.
145 total touchdowns in college.
Heisman Trophy winner.
He set 5 different NCAA records.
Unbelievable.
Leader,
grit.
Academic. He got what you would call the academic Heisman.
Yeah.
The Campbell Trophy.
Think about this. All right, go ahead.
I was going to say, if you think about any quarterback ever that you could stick in college, and you're like, I don't even care, you wouldn't be. This guy, he was built to play college football. He was not built to play in the NFL. He was built to play college football.
I'm going to say a few things about this. 100% agree with that. This is the guy that you would. I mean, he's like Mr. All-American, like high school football player.
Yeah.
Comes in, great story, like does all this work all around the world still to this day, like helping people, mission work. I want you to think about this for a minute, though. He's a quarterback. He ran for 57 touchdowns in his college career. That's more rushing touchdowns than a lot of like the great running backs have in their career. First player to ever pass and run for more than 20 touchdowns in a season. And I'm going to give a testament to how beloved Tebow was. I lived in Denver for a short period of time during Tebow Mania. Jimmy flew out.
Incredible playoff
unbelievable
run there,
against the Steelers. So anyway, Jimmy flies out. We get tickets to the Jets-Denver game. And it was literally Tebow Mania. I mean, every bar in Denver had like these Tebow slogans and signs up and whatnot. And the Jets come into town. And the Jets were not bad at this point. I think Rex Ryan was still there.
Yeah.
The Jets still had a decent squad. They come in. Jets are winning the game. You know, the stadium is rocking. It's cold. And we get a Tebow comeback. This was one of the comebacks he had during that year. And I'm telling you, I don't know that I've ever been in a stadium that was rocking that hard. And the energy in that place was insane.
I feared for my life, not because the fans couldn't have been nicer. I will say it. The fans are super nice. They didn't care if you were an opposing fan. They took you in, treated you well. But when that place started rocking, I mean, the whole thing bounced, and we weren't down on a lower level. We were on an upper level, so that whole thing was bouncing. I mean, that was wild.
I've never experienced an earthquake, but I imagine it feels like something similar to that. Yeah, and they ended up, it was like a last-minute comeback. Tebow, I think, ran a touchdown.
Yeah, he ran it in, like a 20-yard touchdown run, I remember. But, anyway, Tebow, just that guy was an absolute monster, and he deserves to be the number one face on the mountain.
Quite possibly.
He's George Washington on our Rushmore.
Exactly.
So that wraps it up for the Mount Rushmore of college football quarterbacks.
Let me mention one honorable mention.
Let's mention a couple. Sorry, yeah.
Oh, you got some?
Oh, yeah. I had a good list of names.
The guy I had to put on here, I had a hard time keeping him off the list. This was back in the early 90s. I think like right around 90 was his peak year. This was back before like passing became like the thing that it is now. This was when you had teams mostly grinding out of the I formation or running the option. Ty Detmer for BYU. They beat number 1 ranked Miami one of his years, which was a big upset. Yeah. He threw for over 5,000 yards in one of his seasons. And look, this was again in like 1990 when teams really weren't airing it out a ton.
Running it.
Look, BYU put out some legit quarterbacks. Steve Young went to school there. Ty Detmer was a Heisman winner there. So he was another one that I
Zach Wilson.
Yeah, I strongly considered putting on my list.
I had University of Hawaii, Colt Brennan.
Oh yeah.
He was fun to watch because he was just a gunslinger, man. That guy, I don't think he ever attempted a pass under 20 yards. The guy was just throwing it downfield every play.
Those
games at like
they
11 o'clock at
like
night.
the midnight games.
They put up like 60, 70 points a game.
Yeah. That's why so many people watch it. I mean, people will want to watch football late, and all of a sudden you tune in, and Colt Brennan would just be slinging it for 70-yard touchdowns.
He had a 58 touchdown year.
Who was the coach of those teams? He was a guy who had NFL experience and then ended up coaching out there, and they was like this.
It wasn't Norm Chow, was it?
No, I can't remember.
I can't think of it off the top of my head. I'm gonna look it up.
But that was a team that would have gotten into the playoff if playoffs were around then. They were 12-0 the one year. Ended up in the Sugar Bowl, I think, that year. But so like a lot of teams back then that had a chance, but the system was a little bit different, and
Yeah.
you never got to see those teams blossom and compete like Miami did this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about Matt Leinart could have been on the list.
Yeah, he was another one.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think Matt gets like overshadowed some because those teams were
With
so
Reggie
dominant.
Bush
And
and-
you remember, was it the other running back played in the NFL?
Cardell Jones.
Yeah.
Is that him?
I can't.
No, he was on Ohio
He was
State.
Ohio State's quarterback. There was another running back on that team that I can't think of who was an absolute stud in college, and he actually had the better pro career than Reggie Bush. He played for the Titans. It'll come to me, but Leinart had a couple really good seasons at USC, and those were arguably some of the greatest college football teams of all time.
Yeah. Yep.
Pete Carroll had that program run.
Yeah.
Pretty cool what he did, where he made that like the happening Hollywood lost it. You'd have guys like Will Ferrell and Snoop Dogg on the sidelines. That was like the hip place to hang out. It was like a party on
They
Saturdays.
didn't have an NFL team at that time.
No.
It wasn't the LA Rams.
Yeah.
Or the LA Chargers.
That's who I would like to see first as the armchair coach position would be Snoop. Just yelling
great.
plays at the coach. Another good one, Jameis Winston. I got a bunch of Florida State guys, but Jameis Winston was a great college
Was it
quarterback.
Lendale White?
Oh, yeah, Lendale
Yeah.
White.
That's who
Yup.
it was. That was the other running back. Yeah. Oh, Jameis. Yeah.
Jameis
won a national
was
title as a
great one.
freshman, right?
Yep.
He overshadowed himself with the crab leg theft.
Baker, he was another great college quarterback.
Walk on.
I love
Walk
yeah.
on.
I love what he just said too.
We'll save it for the roundup.
Yeah, we'll
because
we'll
we're gonna
save
get
that
to
one for the roundup.
You can't take that dog out of Baker, man.
Nah,
Johnny
it's fun.
Manziel.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Now, he kind of screwed himself over.
he rubbed
but,
a lot of people the wrong way, but the dude was a baller.
But that dude
Yeah.
coming into college, I mean, he was not a good quarterback.
He was
At all.
loose, he was loosey goosey on the field.
He was an athlete.
So
That's what he did.
He was a
playground-
drunk athlete.
he was a playground schoolyard baller.
Yes,
Yeah.
he wasn't a great quarterback,
Yep.
and obviously got to the NFL. He was terrible, but
How about Danny Warfel?
Warfel, yeah.
Florida.
Another Florida boy. but
Spurrier,
yeah,
guy,
Spurrier.
Spurrier guy down there. Those Florida teams were legit
Yeah.
when Spurrier was down there.
Yeah. Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun had a good career at Clemson.
Mariota, great quarterback at Oregon.
Yeah.
Peyton Manning, even though he never
Was
got over
it-
the hump and beat Florida, Peyton had a great college career.
Was it Mariota who battled Winston in college?
Yeah,
They had
probably.
Good matchup there.
yeah,
Mendoza. I mean, you got to talk about him being,
great year.
fantastic year. Yeah.
We'll have to let that one marinate for a couple of years, and when we come back to our Mount Rushmore in a few years.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you had guys like Vinny Testaverde, University of Miami. Vinny Testaverde was a stud in college.
Speaking of Spurrier, Spurrier could be on this Mount Rushmore too as a college
I didn't really
quarterback.
go, like I said,
Remember-
I didn't go old school, so.
Remember
Yeah.
Dorsey?
Maybe next time.
Dorsey had a couple really
Ken
good
Dorsey.
years down there at Miami on some of those really talented teams. You had, I thought, just what he did. I mean, he didn't play a lot, but the third string quarterback for Ohio State, I think that was Cardell Jones. The year
yeah.
that he ended up coming in and playing in the national championship game because I think it was like Braxton. Was it Braxton Miller? These names I can't
Yeah.
remember the names off the top of my
Too
head.
many names.
But the top two, remember Troy Smith for Ohio State?
Oh, yeah.
Ended up playing
Yep.
for the Ravens, I think, as a receiver. Yeah, these things, the research into these things, like we were talking before the show, the research for the next one was incredible. But like the research into these things has been a blast.
Well, it triggers memories, like stuff you don't think of on a daily basis, but like
Yeah.
someone mentions it, you're like, oh yeah, I
then
remember where I was at watching that game or watching that
Yeah.
player in his prime.
And then you go down the wormhole of YouTube videos that get
Yep.
pulled up
Yeah.
with it, where it's like, oh man, you're watching highlights of these
Yeah.
guys, and yeah, it's very nostalgic. And just to see too, like back in the day, like the camera quality back then was like cutting edge, but you look at it now and you're like, God, this is awful. Like
Yeah.
it's pretty wild.
Yeah, compared to now, it was terrible.
But back then, it wasn't thought of like that.
No, because
you know?
we didn't know what it was like in
Yeah.
the future. I mean,
I still remember when the first Madden came out on the PlayStation 2. Brandon Holland brought the PlayStation 2 over for like one of the birthday parties or something. And
Yeah.
that first time seeing those Madden figures on a PS2 on the big screen, it was like blew your mind.
yep.
And now it's nothing compared to the stuff that the The young kids are playing these
Yeah,
days.
well, now
I'm sorry,
the phones are better than
Yeah.
I hear someone knocking at the door, guys. I'm gonna get
Yeah.
it. Just roll us over into this next segment.
So this kind of got the inspiration. I think we started talking about this. We've been joking about Ben Johnson's post-game speeches where the guy has like his spirit animal is like a WWF wrestler from the 80s and 90s. So like, Jimmy, I mean, why don't you talk about this a little bit? You had a phone conversation with your cousin today. If you were a kid in the, we were born in the early 80s. So if you were a kid in the 80s or 90s, WWF, this was the golden era for WWF or WCW wrestling.
I know, I'm 41. Back then, late 80s, early 90s, like you said, the golden era, I was obsessed with wrestling. I mean, you had a who's who of wrestlers, and I mean, the storylines, the craziness,
the interviews,
the
finishing moves,
everything about it was amazing. So what we're gonna do is
You can't go in there while they're recording right now.
Hold on.
You can't.
Wait, we have a guest. Hold on.
Yeah, don't you tell me what I can and cannot do, brother. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The boys asked me to come in and special host this segment for the show. Yeah. I got sitting to my right
Bracho.
Jimmy Superfly Harrington and Brent the Hitman Vujovich. Oh, yeah, brother. What do you guys say?
Let's do it.
Let me level down on your guys' level. Let me ask you something personal there, Brent the Hitman Vujovich. What does Joe Rogan, Bro Brogan, and Hulk Hogan have in common?
They're all Ogans.
They all have the same hairline, and they think that every sentence should end with brother. Jimmy, let me ask you something. I want to get down to the nitty gritty. Why didn't the Ultimate Warrior get a promotion at Starbucks?
I don't know.
'Cause only the cream rises to the top. Yeah!
Well,
Bracho is on one today.
as you guys can see, we have Bracho Man
Bradley Cabbage.
Bradley Cabbage
Yeah.
in here, and he's going to help us do our top 5 WWF/WCW wrestlers from the 80s and 90s.
Oh, yeah. You soft boys, you're smelling nice in here tonight. What's that, orange blossom and vanilla? Yeah!
We got to keep the baby oil away from him.
Oh, I love baby oil, yeah. Not as much as Diddy did, but yeah.
Bracho, give us your number 5.
Ooh, number 5 on my list. Let me get to it. This is one of my good brothers. Hacksaw Jim Duggan, yeah. Had to steal this one from you there, Brent the Hitman, but that's what we do in the business. Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Oh, this man carried around a 2x4, a true American legend, waved around the American flag and got that USA chant going in the crowd.
Dude, Hacksaw was amazing. That dude, when I was a kid, carrying around the 2x4.
And he had like that blue collar everyman persona.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what he represented. And
He had like curly, longer hair, a beard.
Oh, great shape. That guy was in great shape.
Did you guys know that Hacksaw played in the NFL for the Atlanta Falcons before
not
becoming a
know that.
wrestler?
I did.
His
I
career
bet,
was
you know.
cut short with injuries.
Hacksaw is great.
Yeah, the 2x4. I still remember getting the WWF figure as a kid, and it came with the 2x4. You put it in his hand and press the button on the back, and he would swing the 2x4.
Yeah, that was
good
definitely
buddy,
one of my
man.
favorite wrestlers when I was a kid.
You guys remember
The
his
energy.
finishing move? You remember his finishing move, Bracho?
Oh, he'd get down in that NFL three-point stance, and then he'd growl at you. He'd come at you with that clothesline and put you down on your back. Oh, yeah.
Legend.
Oh, what a
Jimmy Superfly Harrington, who do you got down there for your number 5?
Well, my number 5, this might be illegal, but I'm pretty sure Brent did the same thing, so we're going to allow it. But I went with a tag team.
Ooh, yeah. I had a
him.
couple of
And
those matches.
This
Can
is
I guess which one it is?
Sure.
Because I'm pretty sure I probably have it. Did you go with the Road Warriors?
I went with the Road Warriors slash the Legion of Doom.
Couldn't get past those spikes.
That is Hawk and Animal. They debuted in 1990. They were in a couple different wrestling promotions, but these guys, they painted their faces. They had mohawks. They had like wrestling shoulder pads, football shoulder pads that had spikes on them.
Yeah,
I mean, these guys are brash. They were powerful. They were both on steroids and jacked.
Inspired by the Mad Max Road Warrior movie, where they looked like they could have been characters riding motorcycles, shooting sawed-off shotguns.
These guys were so exciting to watch, and being a little kid, you saw them come running down there to the ring, and it just fired you up. But I rooted for these guys, forever, as long as they were in WWF.
And
nothing gets my juices going better than mohawks and shoulder pads.
They came in. They came into Iron Man by Black Sabbath as their ring entrance music. They had the Doomsday Device. It was like a combination of a diving power bomb / neck breaker. That was their finishing move, and. Yeah, you can't have a top 5 without those guys on
they
it.
were so much fun to watch.
Incredible.
Brent the Hitman, hit us with your number 5.
All right, I went with Jake the Snake Roberts.
Oh, gee.
Jake the Snake had the hair. Brought a live python. Damien was the python's name. He brought the python into the ring with him. He was great at like working up the crowd. He kind of had like this like dark persona. The DDT was his finishing move, and Jake the Snake Roberts made a cameo, hometown buddy, Tyler Nielsen's movie, The Peanut Butter Falcon. Jake the Snake Roberts plays the heel in the movie at the end in the wrestling match. So
let me put this out there to you, Peanut Butter Falcon. You ever want a match in the backyard? Give me a call, yeah!
Oh, yeah.
Let's get down to number 4.
If you haven't seen it, you're living under a rock. But Peanut Butter Falcon's an incredible movie. Was created by a buddy of ours from out here. Shout out to Tyler Nielsen.
Go and check it out if you haven't. Jake the Snake. I feel like I remember watching him actually letting the snake bite people, like drawing blood. Now, I don't know if that was some type of magic trick.
I'll tell you what, you see the scar right there? That's a snake bite from Jake the Snake, if you ever saw one.
I don't think those guys were performing magic tricks. No, I think they were just wild.
I can't remember the match, but he took the snake and you watch the snake bite, and blood just started coming out of him. And I remember being a kid going, this is wild, but that's why Jake the Snake almost made the cut.
Unbelievable.
All right, round it up. Whose pick is it now?
I think we all picked one.
I'll say my 4 because it's already been mentioned, but I had Hacksaw as well. Just the everyman, patriotic. He'd get the crowd chanting USA. He was a legend in the game, so he was number 4 for me.
All right.
Absolute legend.
You want me to give 4?
Go ahead.
All right. My number 4 is The Undertaker. Undertaker, iconic figure in the WWF. The guy was 6'5", long black robe, long black hair, eyeshadow. He had a manager named Paul Bearer.
Always rubbed me the wrong way.
Who carried around an urn. And this urn, we don't really know what it contained, but they think it was like Undertaker's power or his aura. So if he'd be losing in a match, Paul Bearer would hold this urn up, and all of a sudden Undertaker would just sit straight up like a rising dead.
Like a corpse, yeah.
Like a corpse. He had casket matches where they would put a casket there, and the loser would get thrown into the casket. But
he'd strike the fear into any man, except for one man. I think you know who that is.
And he had one of the greatest matches ever, a cage match against Mick Foley, where he threw Mick Foley off the top of the cage. That's a crazy match if you ever saw that. But Undertaker, iconic.
His eyes, the way he would just like look around.
Yeah, his eyes would twitch. Yeah. Just legendary. The entrance
super
music.
Pale. Super pasty.
The arena would go dark and red lights would come on. I mean, it was a lot of fun.
He had that Mortician vibe going on.
That's a great pick. Another great legend.
How about for you?
I got to go with my good buddy Sting.
Oh, yeah.
Old Sting. He was
now, are we
40 years in the game.
Which is your favorite version of Sting? Neon Sting or when he went black and white Sting?
Black and white Sting,
You know,
my guy.
you know when he picked up that black baseball bat and wore the trench coat, white face paint with the black lines and the long black hair. Yeah,
Yeah, that was.
I don't think he could get any more intimidating unless you're me.
Yeah, that was a great storyline. That Sting. Yeah, Sting had a couple different runs, and he was always fun. Anytime you could tune into an event, and then the camera pans up to the top of the arena, to the rafters, and you just see Sting standing there with that face paint.
Just watching
Amazing.
me like I'm up here, you're down there.
Yeah.
It was great.
And he never like spoke. He was
Nope.
just like this quiet, stoic. Yeah,
All right,
solid choice.
moving right along.
My three
Number
is
3.
Animal and Hawk. They've already been mentioned.
Okay.
The Road Warriors tag team. We don't need to say a whole lot more. Other than that, outfit and getup was incredible. Between the face paint and the football shoulder pads
I
with
know.
the spikes, I mean, I don't know that there's a greater
Just so intimidating looking. It
costume
was
in wrestling.
awesome. All right,
And
well,
I believe one of them, I don't know if you guys remember, this was years ago. James Laurinaitis was a stud linebacker at Ohio
Yep,
State.
yeah.
I believe one of them was his uncle, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was his dad.
or it might have been his dad. Okay,
I think it was his dad.
Yeah,
yeah, Laurinaitis. I think it was. Actually, I don't know.
yeah. I know there was a connection there.
It was one of
somewhere.
them, either Hawk or Animal. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was Laurinaitis' dad.
Lots of professional athletes in the wrestling world. Yeah.
Oh yeah. All right, my number 3 that I have is the Ultimate Warrior. Ultimate Warrior came out in the late 80s. This guy, he had, once again, painted face, long hair. He wore like these colorful armbands. Once again, jacked on steroids. And he would come into that ring and he would do this thing where he'd shake the ropes and like the whole ring would shake. But that was also his kind of power up. If he was losing in a match, he would take these ropes and he would shake the hell out of the ropes and power up.
Didn't he have like the I guess you'd call them tassels, like around the boots? Like
No,
a lot
I
of these
called
guys.
them armbands, okay, for a
Let
reason.
me tell you something. I know I'm not all there upstairs in the head, but something was really wrong with that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was the best part about it. If you're a professional wrestler, you don't want a sane person. You want a crazy person like
Here's my impression.
Ultimate Warrior.
Ultimate Warrior. Yeah. If everybody in the world is my universe. That guy made no sense at all. Yeah.
Ultimate Warrior, amazing athlete, amazing wrestler, part of early '90s WWF. logo.
Golden era. Yeah.
All right,
Well,
what's your number 3?
my number 3, he was another big man. Yeah, this guy was Andre the Giant.
man,
Holds
you guys-
multiple world
You guys are
records.
taking on my guys.
This guy was a legend. He was bigger than life itself on and in and out of the ring. He holds a record for most beers drank ever, and I thought I had that record, but no. I'm only the Intercontinental Champion of the world.
Andre, the 8th wonder of the world. He's my number 2. The guy was just a legend.
It was a freak show.
Starred in an iconic movie from our childhood, The
Oh,
Princess
yeah.
Bride.
Yeah.
Guy was 7'4", over 500 pounds. His kind of thing. He feuded with Hogan. Him and
Yeah.
Since we're doing impressions, here's my impression of Andre the Giant. Yeah. Does anybody want a peanut?
Did you guys know that as a kid, Andre the Giant couldn't fit on school buses?
He was a school bus.
So someone, it was like a family friend or someone had to drive him to school because he couldn't fit on the school bus. And what he used to like to do for pranks was move people's cars. So if someone's car was somewhere, he would move it somewhere.
You're not talking about driving it. You mean like picking it up?
Physically moving their cars. By all accounts, if you haven't seen the HBO documentary on Andre the Giant, it's really worth a watch.
Oh, yeah.
By all accounts, just a great dude, like a really fun, jovial guy. Andre the Giant was just... Look, these other guys are huge. When he was in the ring with Hogan, I mean, Hogan is a big dude, and Andre the Giant just dwarfed these other wrestlers.
If you want to see something interesting, just Google Andre the Giant holding a can of beer.
It's crazy.
You won't even believe that it's a real can of beer. It's ridiculous, but Andre the Giant, God, he was so much fun. But the problem with him is he could barely move, so they would like take him on these carts. And they drive him to the ring for like a couple different big events.
Like real royalty, yeah.
Yeah.
Who do we have for our number 2? Yeah.
That was my number 2. You guys are
Superfly.
a step ahead of me on all these.
My number 2 is none other than Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Brandon Wall's favorite.
Another guy who liked to drink beers, yeah.
Yeah, you would get along with him. He was, look, Stone Cold, another icon. This guy did not care about anything in the wrestling. Like Vince McMahon, anyone, he was known for doing his own thing. He would come out, he'd chug beers, he'd throw beers at Vince McMahon, he would beat up Vince McMahon. But this guy came in and he was just a Texas badass, and he was awesome. All his taglines, and I think he really feuded with The Rock.
I think he opened up a couple franchises of Stone Cold Creamery, right?
Yeah. It would be smart if he did. But yeah, Stone Cold Steve Austin, one of my favorites.
We're going to take my number 2 pick to the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Do you hear me? This guy, woo! 4 Horsemen, legend of the ring. He'd slap on that figure 4 leg lock around the turnbuckle. He'd put you in a world of pain.
I believe is a North Carolina boy, too, Ric Flair.
Yeah, he is. Yep, I believe Charlotte or somewhere in that area. I think his daughter's name is actually Charlotte.
Gotcha.
Rick Charlotte Flair, I believe that is.
Ric Flair, I don't know if anyone... I'm sure there's stats on it. I don't know if there's anyone that had a longer wrestling career, like a wrestling career where he actually like wrestled in real events and was winning.
This mountain of a man wrestled over 40 years in the ring.
Crazy. I mean, I think he was wrestling when he was like 60 in the ring, which is nuts. But
man,
yeah, I mean, and like you said, Ric Flair. Talk about a great interview.
That to me was the best part of all of this. If you either like can find like some of these Instagram accounts or go on YouTube and just watch the interviews from these guys back in the day, it's hard not to
I'll give you guys a tip on YouTube, which you are probably watching this on. WWE, as they call it now, has an account, but you could go in there. They have archives in there. You could find any Royal Rumble from back in the 80s or 90s. You can find all the promotions that these guys did, but it's a treasure trove of early 80s and 90s wrestling on there.
And I mean, that's what, I'm assuming we may all have the same number 1. Possibly not, but my number 1...
I think you guys.
Based on just...
Before we go into number 1, I just want to say happy belated Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Yeah, did anybody celebrate on Monday? Yeah, I did. Yeah, because I had a dream. Yeah! But for real, I had a dream last night. Yeah, it's about bunny rabbits, and cute little fluffy bunny rabbits. Cozy, cuddly. Then they got too close and I had a roundhouse kick them in the face. Yeah! Give us your number 1, Brent Hitman.
We got to go with the Macho Man Randy Savage.
Oh,
the best interview of all time in all of sports. Do yourself a favor.
Yeah.
Macho Man Randy Savage interviews.
Some say he never died and that he went down to Mexico and he took on an alternative persona and he started wearing the luchador mask. I don't know what they're talking about, though. Yeah.
I heard he became a Giants fan.
The guy had it all. He had the colorful, like, neon attire. He wore the bandanas. He had the big glasses and that gravelly voice. was known for that flying elbow drop off the top turnbuckle, his relationship and partnership with Miss Elizabeth. Macho Man Randy Savage, to me, is the all-time GOAT.
The one and only Intercontinental Champion of the world. Yeah. This guy was no slouch on the baseball diamond either. Yeah, true athlete. Yeah. Played professional baseball. Yeah.
Former minor leaguer with the Reds and the Cardinals, and just as far as personalities go, I don't know that there was a better anyone more suited to be a WWF wrestler than Macho Man Randy Savage.
Like you mentioned earlier, unbeatable. The promos that these guys did.
The way he would like turn in circles during his interviews.
Entertainment value supreme. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look,
I miss those days.
I wish that wrestling was like that. Still, I don't watch wrestling anymore. After the golden era, it was just kind of that was it. But Macho Man. Love that guy, and I think we'll be seeing him, hopefully again soon.
You guys remember the Slim Jim commercials?
Oh, yeah.
Unless you die and go to heaven, you ain't seeing Macho Man Randy Savage, but you could have a chat with his brother, Macho Man Bradley Cabbage, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's all the time I got to spend with you fellas.
Jimmy's got number one. Jimmy.
Number one. Oh, that was your number one?
Jimmy Superfly, of course it was.
Of course I have a number one because we cannot not mention this guy. He is the greatest wrestler that has ever lived.
He is, my arch nemesis. Yeah.
He single-handedly pretty much took wrestling from small time to national stages, international stages. And that's the one and only Hulk Hogan.
Hulkamania.
I mean, Hulkamania, that was a lifestyle back then for a lot of people.
Let me tell you something, brother. Let me tell you something. He was the ultimate tag team partner. Then he betrayed him. Me, yeah, no, him, yeah, that's right, yeah.
But Hulk Hogan, he didn't have the promos like Macho, but look, anytime you talked about Andre the Giant, go and check this video out. He picks up
suplexed him or
Andre the Giant and slams him, which is
650-pound deadlift, yeah.
Crazy. Yeah. And starred in Rocky 2. Was it Rocky 2? Oh, Rocky 3, the Clubber Lang one. I think it was Rocky 3.
And he was in another movie with
Mr. Nanny.
Yeah, he was in Mr. Nanny, but he was in like a wrestling movie with Zeus. Remember that guy Zeus?
No.
Oh, I don't remember. He was a wrestler in Mr. Nanny.
Gosh. Sorry, I'll have to get back to you on the name of that. I can't remember it, but
so many guys you can put on this list. Like Bret the Hitman Hart, Dusty Rhodes, famous Georgia wrestler.
Oh, yeah.
I have a couple that
Rey Mysterio,
Sergeant Slaughter.
Oh yeah,
Sergeant Slaughter had the biggest chin in wrestling.
How about another great professional athlete, Goldberg? Yeah,
Goldberg.
Yep.
Goldberg.
He had that win streak to start out his career.
Gold Dust.
How about quote the Raven, nevermore? Yeah.
The Steiner Bros. You guys remember the Steiner
Scott
brothers?
Steiner, Rick Steiner.
Scott and
Give
Rick.
me a call, Rick.
I liked Big Boss Man as well.
Yeah, the police officer.
Yeah. Ratty Piper.
Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man. Yeah.
A lot of good names getting thrown.
And then a couple that are little known that I really like. There was a guy named Tatanka. He wore a big Indian headdress, and he would do his Indian chant in the ring, talk about entertainment value. And then Texas Tornado. He was only around for a couple years, but I think that was Kerry Von Erich, one of those Von Erich brothers.
How about that other great Harlem Heat? Yeah, Harlem Heat, they gave me trouble.
Yeah.
But that was great time. That was the golden era, and like I say, go and check some of that out.
Drop us a line. Let us know who your favorite wrestlers were. You know who it
Lex
was.
Luger, right?
Yeah.
Lex Luger in the
Lex
mix
Luger, yeah.
there. Yeah, wow.
Gentlemen, that's
all right.
all the time I have. Thanks for letting me join you.
Until next time, Bracho.
Yeah, but I got one more message, and I think you know who it's to. Geriatric Jones, I got something coming for you the next time I see you. I'm going to eat your lunch for breakfast. Yeah!
All right, now go and bring Brad back in. Thank you, Bracho. All right, well, that was fun. That was actually a lot of fun research doing that. I was definitely pulling up YouTube clips, and I had to stop myself because I would start getting invested in these old matches, even though I know what happens. But you go down the rabbit hole, and you start watching it. But oh yeah,
it was just a genuine performance. The storylines, the hooks.
It was true entertainment.
Yeah,
I mean, they were wrestlers, but at the same time, there's true entertainment value in there.
I'm sorry, guys. I tried to keep him out of here.
No, it's fine. We needed him in here. For,
I know he
the
could be a little much.
No, it's fine.
He's got some good insight, though, doesn't he?
You know what? He knows what he's talking about. He must have been around it a long time.
Well, it sounded like you guys had fun. Brought back some memories for me listening to you guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
It was
Good time.
It was like we said, the golden era of wrestling. Those late '80s, early '90s years.
Well, Bracho took up a lot of our time, so we don't have a whole lot of time left, but let's get moving on to our NFL Conference Championship
We
preview.
just got a couple games to go over.
Yeah.
So, what's the first game? Is it
Pats Broncos.
Pats Broncos? We got the Pats favored 5.5 in this game, with the Broncos being down Bo Nix. What do you guys like? I'm kind of leaning taking the Pats and covering this 5.5.
There's a couple storylines that I like in this one. Sean Payton, can he pull off some magic with the backup quarterback? We saw him do it down in New Orleans with the Saints. One of those years, Drew Brees missed some time in the regular season. Teddy Bridgewater came in and played 5 games, won them all. Saints ended up with the 1 seed that year. And could we get a little revenge factor going for Stidham here? He was drafted by the New England Patriots.
I like that storyline
You got to factor that in a little bit.
Can we get a Nick Foles storyline for Stidham?
Exactly. Did you see what Nick Foles posted?
Yeah.
Yes, I saw you sent that.
About
Yeah,
backup
that was
quarterbacks
hilarious.
going against New England, and J.K. Dobbins gonna possibly be back for this game. We talked about it a little bit. Denver D down the stretch has not been as good, but they do get after the quarterback, and that New England offensive line looked pretty rough against the Texans last week. Drake May was under fire most of that game.
Yeah.
So
that's a lot of points to me for a conference championship game, and especially for a home team and Mile High Stadium. I think I'm going to go Broncos getting 5.5.
okay.
Maybe I'm hoping it'll be like a field goal game. It could completely go the opposite way, but I did hear, is it Jordan Palmer, the quarterback coach? I heard him saying, he evaluates all these quarterbacks, and he said he thinks, if Stidham and May both play to their ability, he thinks that it's pretty much
Should be
a
a good
wash.
game.
But
Yeah.
I just like to see May put his foot on the gas in this game on his way to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it could go that way.
I like to have him get a breakout performance here.
Yeah, if the Broncos struggle to score points, this game could get out of hand. But
You going?
we'll see.
You going Pats, Brad?
I'm going Pats.
Okay, Brad's got the Pats. I also had the Broncos cover. I thought 5.5 was a little too much at home with Sean Payton. I think it's going to be. I think the Pats win the game, but I think it's like a 3-point game.
Yeah.
What do you guys
Comes
like?
down to a
Over
field
under
goal.
on this one's 42.5. I'm kind of leaning on the under in this game.
I'm not sure yet.
Depends how many touchdowns the defense scores.
Yeah, I don't know how much, what the Broncos offense is going to look like. It's hard for me to bet an over-under on that because I don't know what they look like with Stidham. But
Yeah, I
Everyone
can
likes-
see them trying to muck this game up a little bit, slowing it down, having it more of like a ground out, run first kind of game.
yeah, I think Harvey gets a lot of touches, or they'd be smart to give him a lot of touches.
it's gonna be pretty cold out there in Denver.
And Pat's got to go across the country. I mean, no easy task going over to Mile High.
That home field's a big deal.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, I like the Broncos.
Then moving on to the NFC Championship game, we got the Rams at Seattle.
I think this can be a great game.
I do too.
2.5 point spread.
It's the rubber match. Third time these guys have played this year. Division foes. They know each other well.
I really think that Charbonnet is being out is going to play a factor in this game. I think it just slightly gives the Rams a little more favor, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, look, I just think the Rams, to me, with Stafford back there, I know the Seahawks have been beating up teams and that defense is great, but to me, I'm just going to take who I think has the better quarterback, the better coach, the better wide receiver, which is debatable. These are two of the best wide receivers in the league.
Yeah.
But the Rams also have Devontae Adams. So I think the Rams win by a field goal. So I'm gonna take the Rams.
So we're going Rams plus 2.5.
Yep.
Chop me down for Rams plus 2.5 too.
Rams plus 2.5.
I just think the way Stafford's playing, and especially ending these games on these drives, he's in full command of the game, full confidence. I think he gets the job done again.
Yeah, I'm not sure I have enough faith in the Seahawks to pull this off.
This is our last stand for us old guys with quarterbacks in the league. He's the last man standing. I'd like to see him get it done again.
Yep.
I got Seattle. Winning this game. This is what it came down to for me. This was a really hard game to pick because all those things I was like, really going to go against Stafford, Puka. There's some interesting storylines in this game. You've got Puka versus JSN, who's the top receiver in the NFL. They both had incredible years this year. I think Shaheed's going to have a moment in this game. I think his juice returning kicks. I think the way Seattle's been playing down the stretch. Look, the Rams have not. They've won games. They've not played great down the stretch. They had the loss to Atlanta a few weeks ago. That was big as far as seeding went.
Some lapses in defense there.
The Cardinals stuck with them. You can make an argument that they should not have won against the Bears this weekend. And I just think Seattle has been playing some really solid football right now.
Yep.
Their defense is good. Stafford's hand's a little bit banged up. I've got Seattle winning this game. I do think the training wheels are going to have to come off Darnold. I may be crazy thinking this here, but I think the fact that Kenneth Walker has to be like the workhorse option in this game is actually going to play to Seattle's favor. I really think he's the more explosive of the two backs. If you just look at the numbers.
There's explosive backs too. You got to get them in rhythm and keep them in the game and get on rhythm.
Greater yards per carry. Look what he did when Charbonnet went out last week.
Yeah.
He had a monster game, 116 yards, 3 touchdowns. So I'm going to take Seattle, giving up the 2.5. I think Seattle wins this game maybe by a field goal. I also think you have to factor in this is going to be cold Pacific Northwest weather.
12th man, too.
12th man. Matt Stafford's an older guy. It's been a while since Seattle's hosted a big-time playoff game like this. I'm taking that into consideration, and I'm taking Seattle.
Yeah. I mean, if I didn't have to bet on this, I probably wouldn't bet on this game because I have no idea what's going to happen this game.
Yep, round 3. And over under 47.5 in this one. I like the way over. I think this one just gets blown out
Yeah,
of the
because we
water.
know that the Seahawks could put up points, and I mean, look, the Rams are not the 49ers. They're going to put up points. I know Seattle's got a great D, but they're going to put up some points.
Well, that wraps it up for the preview, I guess. You guys got anything else interesting to say about the games?
Excited. I'm really excited for both of these games.
It's been a great playoff all around this year.
Yeah, some really good games.
Job well done, players and coaches of the NFL.
Now, how surprised are you guys surprised that any of these 4 teams are in the position that they're in the Final Four?
I'm not.
No. All the numbers pointed to these 4 teams being the final 4 teams,
there's
really.
No real surprise in here.
Yeah.
I think it sucks that Nick's got hurt honestly.
You almost want to see Allen in there playing,
Yeah, I think the mobility factor that Nix brings to the table, even if he's not going to run for a ton of yards, he can move around in the pocket really well. But there's one more storyline that I think would be really cool.
Yeah.
If we end up with a Rams-Pats Super Bowl, you got the top 2 MVP guys just facing off, and I think they should give the MVP to whoever wins the football game between May and Stafford.
That would be fun.
Look, there's a lot of cool storylines in here. These are pretty much going to be all some sort of a rematch, right? Whether you end up with Seahawks Patriots, right? The Patriots stole the Super Bowl when Pete Carroll decided not to run Marshawn Lynch on the goal line. You could also have Seahawks Broncos. The Broncos caught a butt kicking from the Legion of Boom years ago. A lot of these Patriots Rams from a few years ago when Tom Brady and the Pats
shut out the Rams.
I think it was like 13-3. It was
3 points.
It was not a good showing for McVay. So McVay could get his revenge. There's a lot of interesting storylines for how this could play out this weekend.
Any DFS sleepers?
I don't know if he's a sleeper, but you got to put Kenneth Walker in.
I have him too.
Obviously. I'm spending up. Give me both Puka and JSN. I'm going to find a way to get them in the lineup.
I think JSN.
Both quiet last week.
Yeah, but Darnold
I
is
think
going to have
the weather
to
had a lot to do with that.
I don't think this game, if I had to guess, I don't think this is like a Kenneth Walker game. I don't think he puts up huge numbers like that. He'll get his points, but I think they're going to have to throw it. Darnold's going to have to throw it, and you know who he looks toward every single time he throws the ball, and that's JSN.
Yeah.
I also have, for the Patriots, I got Hunter Henry.
He's been solid down the stretch.
Tight end. Yeah. I think if you're looking
finds
for
the end zone most games.
Yeah, if you're looking for a tight end this week, there's not a ton of great
I think May is
options.
I think May is the safest, smartest quarterback play in these games here.
One tight end option would be Ferguson for the Rams. He just came back last week off of injury, and he's young. Was he a rookie this year? And was supposed to be like a top prospect for them.
I don't know.
He ended up with a couple nice plays last week.
Almost had that touchdown catch.
Yeah,
too.
so he could be a sneaky, fly under the radar guy if you're trying to save some money.
Yeah, going to be fun. The playoffs have not disappointed. Unless you're an Eagles fan, they disappointed. But as far as the quality of the games, we've had some
great
really
games.
awesome.
Playoffs can't be disappointing if your team's not in it. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Well, let's round it up then.
Yeah,
There's still a couple interesting headlines out there with hirings and firings.
We gotta get your thoughts first,
Yeah,
Brad.
we will.
Harbaugh to the Giants.
Yeah. I'm ecstatic about it. Joe Shane, what are you doing?
He doesn't even have a choice anymore.
He almost blows another deal, get someone great to the Giants. You just give away all of our players, first of all, and then you try to screw it up with John Harbaugh. And Harbaugh puts his foot down, goes straight to the owner, restructures the deal, saying, I've got direct contact with you. Forget about this guy.
I don't even know what Sheen is going to do anymore.
The team is mine now, so good on you, Harbaugh. Way to bring that energy into the clubhouse. Demand what's yours right up front so everyone knows where they stand to you. I'd love to see you get some great coordinators in here now. There's been some firings around the league, opening up some, who were head coaches last year, maybe taking a step back and being a coordinator again. McDermott wouldn't be a bad option, but like Jimmy said, that guy's going to be a head coach again somewhere else.
I would assume he's going to get a job somewhat quickly.
And it looks like Mike McDaniel is landing the job with the Chargers.
That's an interesting.
Fortunately, I thought he was going to end up in Philly.
But it's interesting choice.
Even Baltimore would have been a good spot for him.
Philly and Tampa went after him hard for the OC.
Why would you want to coach a quarterback that's never going to win anything? Herbert's never going to win. We see what this guy could do. He's had multiple coordinators. He's hyped up every year. That would have been, if I had my choice of all these teams, that's where you're going?
Yeah.
No, sorry.
He wanted to go back to Cali.
He's
got those roots out there.
Yeah, he wanted to be in Southern California wearing those stupid sunglasses in the sun And so he chose the Chargers.
He's a good offensive mind. I'm really curious to see what him and Herbert look like paired up. Herbert's another guy who needs a stud wide receiver.
Yeah.
Keenan Allen's past his prime. Yeah. Even though he had a couple good years when Herbert first came in, Allen's an older receiver. He's never had a guy in his prime like a legit. And Allen was always more of a receptions slot guy than an actual wide receiver. They
got
one
McConkey,
on the outside.
Though. They got Johnson, but he seems to only be like a deep threat. The inside route running.
Those guys
really
are slot guys. McConkey's the same thing. He's a slot guy. He's a great slot receiver. He's a great possession receiver. A great hands guy. But I think. There's a couple quarterbacks in the league that when you pair them, I mean, look at what the Rams have done. You got two really, really good NFL wide receivers, one on each side of the ball. I think it makes a big difference.
Another big move was Stefanski landing the job in Atlanta.
Yeah.
I love what Baker Mayfield had to say. He said, "I can't wait to see you twice a year, coach."
Yeah, he was responding to that tweet where they said, like, he was a failure or something, and Baker just couldn't help himself. He said, "Failure's a stretch or something." That I'm still waiting on a phone call or text from that guy who threw me out like a piece of garbage.
All I can say
twice a year
is when Baker faces the Falcons next year, take him in DFS.
Yeah, put him on your squad. Exactly.
Yeah, we also had Robert Saleh got another head coaching gig.
Oh, this is news to me. I didn't see this yet.
Titans.
Interesting.
I think they're finalized. I don't think, but he's gonna be. But they're finalizing the deal, and I don't know. I don't know what he did in San Francisco in 1 year to deserve a head coach. What has he done? That defense is not good. In San Fran,
you've got a guy in Cam Ward. You just invested in Cam Ward.
Get an
offensive mind. Saleh is not that. He did a really good job with San Francisco with what they had there, but I agree. That doesn't surprise me. The Titans, how they let Vrabel go is still blows my mind.
That was just a surprise to me as well. Saleh getting another head coaching gig, and
it's a lot of there's a lot of openings, and I always caution, until you have a replacement who's better than you already have, like in the McDermott situation with the Bills, be careful.
I know,
there's not a lot of NFL quality coaches running around.
It's like this: the Dolphins signed Jeff Hafley. Do you know who that is? Either of you?
Packers.
I only know him halfway.
Only halfway.
That's what I mean. Like, I don't know. This guy who's the Packers defensive coordinator for 2 years. Like, to me, teams are just taking a shot in the dark on these guys. And I get it. They work their way up. But, like, I looked into this guy. He was like a Boston College head coach before he was the Packers D coordinator. I don't know what he's bringing to the table, but I guess I'm jaded as a Jets fan because every single coach we've had for 20 years is a defensive coach, and defensive coach teams do not win Super Bowls. They don't even really win a ton of games.
No,
but it's going to be interesting to see where the pieces end up this NFL offseason.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't really gotten off of football in a while, but there's some other news out there in the sports world.
Mets
with
making
some baseball.
Moves.
We got the Mets making moves. We got the Yankees actually. Cody Bellinger was talks about him actually going to the Mets, and the Yankees just re-signed him.
The Yankees had to re-sign him.
They're holding on to him. Yep,
he had a great year batting behind Judge last year.
But with the Mets, take it away, Brent.
I love it. The Bo Bichette one. I'm so excited about it. Bo Bichette, shortstop for Toronto. This actually started to make me feel like old because I still remember Bo's dad, Dante Bichette, as part of, whenever you played with the Rockies on Ken Griffey Jr. Major League Baseball, him and Larry Walker were jacked on those Rockies teams. They looked like WWF wrestlers. Anyway, Bo Bichette, career .294 hitter. He hits for average. He hit .311 last year and had a big World Series. He had just come back from a sprained knee, hit the 3-run homer in Game 7 off of Ohtani, had a big World Series. I think he hit .348 in the World Series. I'm pumped.
Yeah.
Bring in more bats. The Mets got to get some arms. I'm not sure what they're
The
waiting
Mets
for
have
there.
like 30 infielders on their roster and like 2 outfielders.
And then the
right
trade.
now.
We just made the trade for Luis Robert Jr.
He's all right, yeah.
I like him. I like him.
He's
A couple-
so hot and cold,
Yeah,
but
he showed real promise a few years ago. He's had a couple down years. He's still young, though. He's
Yeah,
still
he
young.
is.
He's one of these guys that can figure it out.
he was a really hyped coming to the league. He was a
Hugely hyped,
huge
yeah.
prospect.
We
so.
got to get some arms, though. It doesn't matter if you can't throw and you don't have a bullpen. But I'm grateful we at least did something because Mets fans were starting to get a little bit antsy.
Telling you.
Nothing was happening.
And yeah, just unloaded everyone from the team. All the Mets, the heart and soul of the team, basically.
I do have faith in this guy from the Brewers who's running things. I think it's going to take a couple of years. I think they're trying to do it different than they did it for years. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Are the Dodgers bad for baseball?
Yeah.
They've become the new Yankees, the
got-
new evil empire.
They
Not even a comparison.
They got Edwin Diaz.
This is the problem.
Tucker,
is
they
this.
just got Tucker.
The Yankees had a high payroll. Okay, you had George Steinbrenner. He spent all money. What the Dodgers are doing?
Why doesn't Hal spend money?
Well,
no team spend money anymore. It's besides if you look at what the Dodgers do.
It's all deferred contracts.
The
to them.
Dodgers have like $1 billion in deferred contracts
Yeah.
over the next 30 years. Their payroll's over $400 million this year. Like we're getting to a point in baseball now where it's like,
Put a cap on it.
I don't know about a cap, but like, how are you just allowing Dodgers? Yeah, we'll pay this guy for 30 years. Like they're gonna get every good player in the league if they want to, but someone's got to knock him off that high horse.
Yeah.
Who's it gonna be? Anyone?
Not after the moves they made this year. I just see them back in the World Series. Well, I mean, health is the biggest thing because baseball is a long season. So you got to keep those arms healthy.
And look, Toronto had him, man. Toronto
Yeah.
had him in that Game 7. They
Yeah.
really had him in reach. Baseball is one of those sports. We've talked about it for years. The Yankees teams that won were the homegrown teams, right? Charlie Hayes and
You got like
Brocious and
exactly.
Posada.
I mean, you
Curtis, Chad Curtis.
you had Mariano Rivera who was homegrown.
Bernie Williams, Paul O'Neill,
Now-
Tino Martinez. But these weren't like. Don't get me wrong. Tino was great. Paul O'Neill was great. They weren't like the highest paid players in the game.
No.
This was a collection of it was a team. And
That's what I mean. The Yankees would add pieces. All right, so like Alex Rodriguez, who everyone hates, that was a piece they added. So you might have like a few guys that are high money guys that they bring in free agency. But like you said, the rest of the team was kind of homegrown guys or just guys off the scrap heap. What the Dodgers are doing is out of control. They're just crazy.
And baseball is such a sport where the clubhouse vibes matter. You saw this with the Mets 2 years ago. That Mets team that made a run almost got to the World Series. They said the clubhouse vibes with that team were incredible. Yeah. The Mets did not have that last year. I was seeing a report, reading something where the clubhouse was night and day different. So it doesn't always mean. What was it a couple years ago when the Diamondbacks made the World Series run and got hot late? How many times do we see wild card teams in baseball? You get these like crazy superstitions going on and songs. That Texas Rangers team was playing
the
Creed.
Rangers. You had the Royals team. That Royals team.
Yeah. Baseball is all about chemistry, getting hot at the right time, having a good bullpen in the playoffs. So you never know.
Well, that about wraps it up for us, guys. Yeah. Thank you for hanging out with us again. Go to our YouTube, click the like and subscribe button. Leave us some comments. Let us know who your favorite wrestlers were. Let us know who your Mount Rushmore of college quarterbacks would be. And go over to our Instagram page, like and follow. And also be on the lookout on Saturday morning for our Sports Mixtape 3-leg parlay.
Yeah.
We haven't hit it in a while, but we're getting close.
And stay tuned because next week we've got a snake draft coming with the best 80s songs, any genre. So you'll want to stay tuned. We haven't done music in a while.
I got a feeling we may be flipping our hair bands around.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. So until next time, thank you guys.
Thank you.
See ya.